Hello, hello everyone. Let's see if I can turn on the comments. Let's see if I can get myself pulled up. Hello, hello. My camera is crooked again. I don't know how I do this every week. I think I just made it worse, but all right, let's see. We're gonna go with that. All right. Hello, hello. Happy Monday. And there's a nice little glare on that. I hope everyone is having a great day. I cannot believe it is Monday already. All right, let's get started. I have a couple things to talk about before we get into our projects for tonight. First, our winners from last week are Sharon Sturkey and then Melissa Engel. I have both of y'all's addresses, so I will get these in the mail to y'all. So thank you very much for commenting last week. And then our prizes for next week are going to be the Wildflower Path and also the Bragworthy stamp set. So, and these are both in the mini catalog. So make sure you comment, make sure you share, then your name goes in. Obviously, the more you comment and share, the more your name gets put into the hat. And then when I draw the name, it is more likely for you to get drawn. Hey, Verna, how are you? Okay, so we're going to move on from that. All right, the next thing is I have Club, which an email already went out for Club. So make sure that there will be another one that will go out. So just be on the lookout for it as well. We will be using the Blessings of Home bundle for that. And Club this month will include a half a pack of the DSP, which it coordinates with that suite, and then also a bolt of the linen thread, and it includes the Bumblebee trinkets. You'll get a whole pack of the Bumblebee trinkets. I've already actually ordered a whole bunch of them just to make sure that there's enough because those are retiring. But here is a quick view of the cards so that you can see them. And then all you have to do is register through the email that has already come, and then you can obviously wait for the next one to come out. I think it'll come out next week sometime. So anyway, that is Club. It's $39. Cutoff for that one is April the 15th. So there's still a little bit of time for that. The next thing, I'm not going to show you the whole bucket, is my class that will be for next, it's the April the 2nd. And April the 2nd is my Columbia class, and we will be making 3 different cards, and then you make 2 of each of those. So here are the 3 cards we're going to be making. A class is $20, or it is free with a purchase. So if you are interested in that, there's a link in the description of this video that you can actually get more information there. Or you can obviously email me. Please feel free to email me anytime, or you can text me. I'm pretty quick to responding on text messages. A little bit quicker with those than sometimes the email, because the email I'll have to get it all pulled up. Last but not least, don't forget about the Savings Are in Bloom. This is until the end of March, and a really cool thing is that the mini cut and emboss machine is on sale as well. So if you have ordered $50 or more, you have from now until Thursday, which is the 31st, to purchase these items first off. But then if you spend $50 in my online store, then your name goes into a hat, and I'm going to draw on the 31st in time to order the mini cut and emboss machine. And one of my customers will win that from me this month. So again, it's a $50 order before shipping and tax. And you have to obviously order from me using a host code. It's the link that is in there in the description of this video. And Sharon, yes, I will hold yours till Saturday. I will put it in my little box over here. Let's see, what did I do with it? I've got it in my Columbia class box, so I will not forget to grab it for you. So anyway, so you've got that. Now with this, obviously everything on here is 20% off, but, and I pulled out one, this is actually my favorite set right here from all of these. Well, I have to say the What's Up and then the Celebrate Sunflowers. Those are probably my two favorite ones on here. And I'm going to say, sadly, What's Cooking is going to be retiring. Oh, it makes me so sad. Which brings me to the retirement list for Stampin' Up. This beauty right here will be retiring at the end of April. So you have the rest of March, and then you have a full month to get in any orders that you want from this catalog. The new catalog I have seen, and boy oh boy is it just as pretty. I'm so excited. I've already started picking out what my clubs are going to be and what my classes are going to be. But this retires. I did post, I believe, no, I didn't post. I sent an email with a link to the actual retirement list, so you can pull it from that. So anyway, get what you want before it is all gone. I know there are some things that have already sold out, so you don't want to wait. You want to get them as soon as possible. With the new catalog, I will do a paper share, and I will be doing a in color club, so be on the lookout for information for that as well. Okay? All right, and I'm adjusting down here so that my screen looks straight. I don't know why I got it crooked again, but it is what it is, right? Okay, tonight, that is it. That is all I have right off the bat. Tonight we are going to be using a stamp set that I honestly got for my husband. This one right here, for the record. My husband loves vinyl records. I actually grew up, my dad was a big vinyl records guy too. And the in color, yes, Melissa, I will write you down. My husband, my father growing up was real big into vinyl. So of course when I saw this, I immediately thought of him, but my husband loves it too. And we actually, when we went on our honeymoon, in 2017, after we got married, we actually went to a lot of different record stores, music stores in Nashville, and that was a lot of fun. We came home with a ton of new vinyl. I'm talking like a ton of new vinyl. We found one huge store that I think we literally spent like an hour and a half in, probably more. And we had a great time. I got me some good ones too. So he didn't have all the fun. I got some of it as well. So anyway, so that's kind of why I picked this set out. It is the last stamp set in the mini catalog. So it can be easy to look over. One of the cards we're going to make tonight is actually straight from the catalog. I just cased it. I changed it up just a little bit, kind of made it my own. But I really, really like this set. So let's dive in. The first thing we're going to make is just a little treat box. These are some acetate. You can see my dimensional backing there. These are acetate treat boxes, or they're little card boxes. So you can use our 3x3 envelopes and cards in these that are in the annual catalog. But I, of course, put some gum in it. These are retiring, these little acetate boxes, which does make me sad because I do use them quite a bit, especially for classes and those kind of things. So I'm going to pull all my stuff out here. And the bag comes with 10 in there. So, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think these are on sale. So it's worth it to get these if you like them. They would be good for kids and all that fun stuff. All right, so we're just gonna put it together. It's real easy to put together. You're just gonna fold on all those score lines. Then we're gonna pop that bottom end like that, and then we'll do the same to the top. There's actually no real bottom or top. It's however you create it. And then we're gonna actually put all of our stuff on this side of it so that it doesn't, you're not having to pull on your paper here. So your box will close on that back part, okay? All right, so let's make sure I do it on the right piece. We're gonna take a piece of the Artfully Composed Designer Series paper and we're gonna put it right here on the front. Just so you know, all of the measurements and score lines and then products used, you can check out the blog post, which is actually linked in this video. It's in the description. So make sure you go check that out as well. Okay, we're putting that right there because I can't get it off now. And actually that's pretty good. Okay, and then here's another piece of that same DSP. And we're just gonna make a flag out of this one. So I'm gonna use the Banners Pick-a-Punch, which is retiring as well. I'm actually really sad that this one's retiring because I like this one a lot. And I've used it quite a bit. I'm just gonna make sure that's lined up. And then we're gonna flip it and do it on the other side. And now we are going to attach it to the front of our box. And just like that. You can make it a little shorter if you want, but I'm fine with the length of it. All right, now we need to stamp our record, our vinyl. So I'm gonna grab my stamp and then I'm gonna grab my black memento. I will say, to make it look really crisp, you will want to make sure that your ink pad is really inked up. And then go over it a couple times. And then I'm just going to stamp that there at the bottom, like that. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and grab a piece of basic white paper. I'm gonna stamp it again. I need the same thing for my next card. So while I'm here, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. And then it'll be less times that you have to see me pull out the cut and emboss machine and shake the table. And I'm just pressing down really good on this one just because I want to make sure that I get a good image. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiments. And we're going to stamp You're My Favorite Song. Right there. Perfect. And then we're going to do Happy Birthday as well. There we go. All right, that's all the stamping for this one. So I'm going to lay that aside and put these out of the way so I don't get ink everywhere. All right, let me bring in the cut and emboss machine and I will go ahead and cut out those two records. All right, and we're going to use the layering circle dies and it's going to be the largest one. So these right here, and we're going to use the largest. And you're going to have just a small white border around it, which I think is just perfect. I tried it without having a white border, and I really didn't like it. So I really found that the white border was better. All right. And then let's go ahead and cut this one out. I'm using scrap paper from kits that I cut wrong. Any way to save paper, right? No trash in it. All right. All right, so we're gonna set that one aside for now as well. And then all right, I'm gonna put these back so I don't lose it because I'm gonna need it again. All right, so now before we actually do anything, let me go ahead and put my gum in here. I forgot to put that in. And you get quite a few in here. All right. Obviously, if you're giving it to kids, you don't have to put as much in there, but I'm gonna fill it up pretty nicely. Okay, there we go. Now we got all our pieces in there. Okay, now let's add our record right here, and we're gonna lay it flat, and we're gonna kind of put it off toward the right. So we're just gonna put regular seal on it, just like that. And then now we're going to take a couple pieces here. So what I've done is I want to create that. I don't want the heart on this. So I'm creating the center of what a normal record looks like. And obviously I'm changing colors on it. But I used for this, I used the Give It a Whirl dies. Let's see. I used the Give It a Whirl, which you know are my favorite dies. I used that one right there. And then I used just one of the circles from the layering circles. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to pop this white piece up onto our pale papaya piece. And stick that right there. I don't think I'm getting that. I want to make sure I get it semi close to center. There we go. I think that is good. Now we're going to take and pop this up in the center of that piece. And we're going to put 3 on here, just to be on the safe side. And then that's going to go right there in the center, like that. And then we're going to take one of these black matted dots, which are one of my favorite embellishments. We're going to take one of the large ones here, and we're going to pop it up in the center, like that. So now it looks like, and you know what? I didn't actually pop up that white piece. Let's do that again. We need to take that off because it does look weird. We're just going to take these off. And we'll put some adhesive right there. That's why it was looking weird. There we go. All right, that looks much better. Flat. Right there, flat on our pale papaya. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to cut out our sentiments. And we're going to hold those out because we're going to add more black matted dots in a minute. But in the meantime, we are going to cut our sentiments out. Now, for the You're My Favorite Song, we really don't have to cut much off, but I'm going to cut a little bit off the length there. And I'm going to come over here and cut there. And I'm going to cut just a touch off of the bottom and the top. Just enough to not have so much white. But if the white doesn't bother you, then you can certainly leave it there. And then that's gonna go right there. And then for the happy birthday, we are gonna cut out all the way around. All right, so let's do, actually, let's do this first. Let's cut we can cut a little bit more. There we go. And then let's flip it. And we're going to make it tiny. All right, and then we'll use our scissors to do the rest. I still don't think it's straight, so we'll definitely use our scissors now. All right, let's cut off the birthday. And then I'm just gonna give it a trim. I'm gonna try to get it as straight as I can possibly get it, since I have it crooked. All right, there we go. And now let's do the happy. And trim there, and then let's trim just a touch off of this bottom. Make it straight. Okay, there we go. Y'all don't have to be as precise as I am, but I decided I needed to be on that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and adhere this. We're going to use a dimensional on this side over here. I'm going to grab a regular one. So we're going to put this here, and then we're going to use regular adhesive on the rest, like that. And then we're going to flip it over and we're going to stick it down here, like that. And then for the happy and the birthday, we are going to pop up, and we're going to use mini dimensionals for that. And I'm thinking that the mini dimensionals are still going to be too small or too big. So we're going to do this. We're going to cut this in half. And we're going to stick this on that piece there. And then let's do this one right here. That's the great thing about dimensionals, is you can cut them in half in all kind of different ways. All right, so let's do our birthday first. We're going to stick birthday right here, and then we will stick happy right there. Okay. All right. And all I can smell on this end, just so you know, is the gum. It is definitely strong. All right, now we're going to put this heart right here, which is using the Give It a Whirl dies as well. We're going to put adhesive on half of it, and then we're going to put a dimensional on the other half. And then we're going to pop that right there. And then the last thing, well, next to last thing, is we're going to tie a bow. Now, this twine is Pets something, and now I can't remember what it's called, but it's in the description of the video. You can find it when you go to the blog post. This ribbon and combo pack is retiring, so if you want it, you better get it. I don't know if this one has sold out yet or not. All right, and then we're going to do a pretty small bow. I don't need it to be too big on this project. And then we'll cut off those ends like that. And then we'll get a glue dot. We'll put a glue dot on the back. And then we will adhere right there next to the heart. And I'm going to trim just a little bit more off. There we go. All right, so there is project number 1. Oh, wait, nope. See, I still forgot them. Let's add a few of these, because you can never have too many, right? There we go. All right, now we are done. All right, so there are quite a few things on there that are on the retirement list, so make sure you check that out before they are all gone. But there is project number 1. All right, let me kind of clean up here a little bit. Make sure I got everything out the way. And we will pull in project 2. All right, so that is going to be the next card that we make. And when I saw this in the catalog, I fell in love with it. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to make this one. Sometimes when you see the catalog, there are certain projects that you just have to case. And this was one of those for me. And the other thing is the stars, the stitch stars are retiring, which actually makes me very, very sad because they are pretty awesome. Okay, so we're going to attach this. This is Bumblebee, which is one of our retiring colors. We're also going to be using Just Jade, which is one of the other retiring colors. So we're just going to lay this flat onto our card base. Just like that. All right, and now we're going to place these so that we can kind of figure out how we want them on our card front and kind of what that spacing is going to be like. And then we are going to start with our edges and pop them up. So we're going to flip this one over. And when I pop this up, I'm actually going to put quite a few dimensionals on it because it's DSP, so it's thinner. So you want to make sure that you put enough adhesive on it so that it's not going to fall. And we're going to put that there. And then I'm just going to do one there and then one in the center down here too. I know that's an exorbitant amount, but it'll be okay. All right. Okay, now we're just going to place this right down here. And there we go. All right, now we're going to do the top one. So we're going to add all these dimensionals. And I am out of a sheet of dimensionals, which is great. It means I have done a lot of work, doesn't it? All right, and then we're just going to stick that one there, and then I'm going to grab just one more. I'm going to put it there. All right, so then we'll take these off. And I just realized my shirt matches Bumblebee. Yeah, what is it? Yeah, Bumblebee. It is very, very close to it. My shirt's a little orangier, but pretty close. All right, so we're just going to line that up there and lay it down. And now we're going to pop this one up. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7, and 8. All right. And then this is our last one to pop up. I'm going to move this dimensional over just a touch because it's kind of hanging off. So I'm going to slowly pull it up. There we go. All right, so now we're going to adhere this. And we're going to kind of make it all look even. If it doesn't, you're not really going to notice in the very end. So, all right, now here's the one we did in our first card. So we're going to take it and we're going to put adhesive on the back. And then we're just going to lay this right there. Okay, now we're going to add all of our stars. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive just in the center. And we're gonna lay this across here, like that. Then we're gonna do this large one here. We're gonna actually tuck this one up underneath. So I'm gonna pull it up just a little bit. I wanna make sure that it's not hanging off of the paper. There we go. All right, so we've got that one down. Now let's take this little one here and we're gonna stick it right there. And then our last one is gonna go right up there. We're gonna go right here. Okay, now let's stamp our sentiment. And we're going to use the basic white paper we had before. So we're going to use this right here. We're going to go ahead and stamp for the record first. And I'm hoping I got it good and inked up. I think the ink pad is like in the in-between stage. It's not quite ready for inking up, but it's almost there. All right, and then this one, You're Awesome, we're gonna put on the bottom of this one. Right there, okay. All right, so now we've got to trim all of these out. I'm gonna put my ink pad away so I don't get it all over me. I'm going to bring in that little small tiny trimmer again, my favorite little cutter. We're going to trim off a little bit of that white, maybe a little bit more than that. There we go. And then we're going to move it and trim there. And look, that's completely wrong. All right, let's start that over again. Let's try it again. My cutting skills, not so good today. Not so good. All right, let's see if I can get it. There we go. All right. I think I need to turn it around when I do it, like this. I can gauge it a little bit better. All right. There we go. All right, so we've got You're Awesome. And then we just need to cut out For the Record. This one, of course, is a little bit bigger, so it's a little easier to see as well. All right, we'll turn it around. Come back at it this way. There we go. And then we're going to cut off in between. Like that. All right, we just got one more cut to make, and then we are ready to put all of our words on. There we go. We'll save that. Can get me another sentiment on it. And just want to make sure I got all my pieces here. Okay, so now we're going to actually pop up For the Record. And we're going to use dimensionals for that. And then, okay, so we're going to put record kind of right here, like that. Then we're going to do the here and for here. Okay, And then the You're Awesome, we need to trim off the ends here. Like that. And then we're going to do many dimensionals for that because we definitely need to have many dimensionals. Oh, thank you, Verna. Yeah, the vellum stars are, they're awesome. I love adding stars to everything. So that and hearts for sure. So I'm truly going to miss these stitched ones for sure. All right, and then we're going to stick that one there. And then there is project number 2. Simple, easy, I mean, semi-easy. It's not too difficult. The cutting part apparently is difficult for me. So once you get past that, you're all good. All right, so let's do our next project. Our next one's going to take us just a little longer. But I'm totally in love with the next project. Totally in love. All right, I'm going to actually clean this first. And then I'm going to show you the card we're going to make. And I got to make sure I get this good and cleaned. Because our next one, we're going to actually use some Versamark. Okay. And I got to change trays. So hold on 2 seconds. I had so much stuff that I needed for the last project. I had to use 2 trays. Okay. So this is going to be our next card. And I'm so in love with this card. These are donuts. I saw, when I first saw this set, it's exactly what I thought of. I was like, oh, this would be so cute. And I'm sure it's because I've probably seen it somewhere else with another stamp company that, you know, had donuts or whatever. But anyway, so I saw it, I fell in love, and I was like, oh, I have to make a donut card with this. Well, then I saw a demonstrator actually use this set for the donuts, and I was like, yeah, I definitely have to do it now. So we're going to do some embossing. So I'm going to try to stamp everything first, and then we'll use the heat tool. All right. And we are going to use the Abstract Beauty. Or is it Beauty Abstract? Nope, Abstract Beauty. We're going to use that for our back piece, and then also for our sprinkles. I kind of thought this looked like an old picnic table cover, so that's why I went with that. And I have done some of it beforehand, but not a lot. Okay, so I did go ahead and do 2 of these, but we're going to do a third together so that you can see how I did it. First and foremost, I'm going to grab a piece of grid paper. We're going to put this in here. I'm going to make sure I don't hide any pieces underneath. All right. We're going to use our embossing buddy to make sure that we don't have any static or extra little prints on there. And then we're going to stamp up our stamped in Versamark. We're going to give it good coverage. It might be a lot, but it's okay. I want to make sure that I get it really covered. All right, now I'm going to stamp this down. And I'm going to hold it there for just a second because I really want to make sure that I get all the lines. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to take my clear embossing powder and we're going to pour that right on top. I'm just going to make sure it's good and covered. And I'm going to flick it just a little bit. Now I'm going to set that aside so I don't put my finger in it. Then the next thing we need to do is we are going to take a piece of early espresso and we're going to rub our embossing buddy on it again. And we're going to make sure we get this really covered with our embossing buddy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the Versamark and all we're going to do is just cover up the entire top with the Versamark. I want to make sure I have it good and covered. So I'm literally covering the entire circle. Okay. Oh. Now I'm going to take this. I'm going to bring in my embossing powder. And I'm literally going to stick this right down into it. And I'm just going to press it down in there. And then I'm just going to shake it off just a little bit. And then we're going to leave it just like that. And I'm okay with a little bit of the caking like that. I am okay with that. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to heat it up. So let me move all my stuff here. I'm going to grab my heat tool. I'm going to plug it in. And then we are going to I'm going to let the heat tool heat up just for a second, and then I'm going to just put it right on over, and you're going to start to see it change. This almost looks like sugar melting. I love it. And I'm just going to go over this one just a couple times like that. All right, and then we're going to set that one aside. Now we're going to bring in our other one. We're going to heat this one up. I'm going to make sure I don't burn my fingers. All right. Okay, there we go. I know that gets loud and I'm sorry, but it's going to be so worth it in the end, right? Okay, so now we're going to set all these aside. I'm going to take this off now. Lay that there. I'm going to throw away my sticky. Okay, now I've got to bring in my cutting machine again. And we're going to cut out our donut. And on this one, I also need to cut out the center. So, I need to remember I lost my circle dies for a second. Okay. All right, so this is the largest one. And then this is going to be the smallest one. We're going to stick that in the center. And we're going to stick this here. We're going to lay our plate right on top. We're going to run through. Alrighty. Okay, so now we have all that done. And now we're ready to assemble. All right. And you could keep that little heart piece too and use it for another project if you wanted. All right, so let's fold our card base in half and give it a good crease. And then we're gonna take liquid glue and put that on the back of this. And then we're gonna adhere it right to the front. And we're gonna have a little white border at the top and a little white border at the bottom. Okay. All right, so now we need to take and add our icing to our first donut. And what we're gonna do with that is we're gonna stick dimensionals on the back. Now, with this, I'm gonna put a lot of dimensionals. And the reason for that is I want to give it the look like it has a lot of, like it has a thick layer of icing on it. So in order to get that look, I had to really add the dimensionals along the edge. All right, and then now we're gonna stick this right here to the top of this one. And ta-da, look at there. This is my favorite donut right here. I actually could go without the chocolate on top of it, but I will take the chocolate on it. But I love cream-filled donuts, and so they always have the chocolate covered cream-filled. So, and then of course my second one is just I'm a Krispy Kreme girl. And then the second one, this one is just a plain original Krispy Kreme donut, you know, the hot now sign. And then this is sprinkles because my nieces all love sprinkles. You could technically leave it like this because they do a pretty good job at making it look pretty even, but we're going to cut this one to give it a little bit more edge, I guess. And literally, y'all, I'm not doing anything special with it. I'm just cutting around it to make it so that it's not a perfect circle. And I promise you, it's not really all that pretty or that hard. See? And it doesn't look anything like the last one either. All right, so now we're gonna adhere this one. And again, I wanna make sure that I put plenty of dimensionals on it because I need it to look like it's a thick coating on the top of it. So we're going to add a bunch of dimensionals around the edge. Like that, and then we'll add one to the center. And then this will go over our other one. I know, right? You know, and I know there was a demonstrator who posted it in the demonstrator planning place, and I cannot remember her name to save my life, but I am pretty sure that I saw it with another stamp company too, and I was like, that is such a genius idea. So, okay, now we are going to add all of our pieces here. So we're gonna add this donut flat, completely flat. And just so you know, you can still mail all of these cards, even though they have a little extra dimensional on it. I promise they will all mail. And they will be just fine in the mail. Okay, so there we go. There's that one. Now this one, I'm gonna kind of smooth it back out a little bit. We're gonna put on half of it, we're gonna put dimensionals, and then on half just regular adhesive. Maybe, if it will let me. There we go. And I want to make sure that I add a good amount of adhesive for when it comes over this piece. This is slick, so sometimes it's a little harder for adhesive to stick to your slick surfaces. So that's why you see me putting a lot on there. And then here we're gonna put 3. And then we're gonna pop this bad boy right up over here. Like that. Okay, and then we're gonna put this one right here. So again, only half is gonna be popped up, and then the other half is gonna be flat. All right. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna stamp our happy birthday. And I have this right here. We're gonna stamp on there. The sentiment, I wanted something big. The donuts are big, and I needed something big to go with them. So I went to this set right here. This is our Slim Sayings. It goes along with our new slim die cuts, our slim card die cuts, and then our dies, and then also matches or kind of coordinates with our slimline envelopes. I wanted the big and the bold, and I couldn't find any happy birthday that was really bold until I came across this one. So that's what we're going with. And then of course I'm gonna stick with this chocolate. So we're gonna do early espresso. We're gonna get it good and inked up. And then we are gonna stamp it right down here at the bottom. Perfect. And then we're gonna trim it. We're gonna see if I can trim it. There we go. That one's easier because it's much larger. All right, and then we're gonna take some linen thread. I wanted to I didn't want it to be plain, so I added a big bow. So we're just gonna take the linen thread, we're gonna tie a bow. Like that. And then I'm just gonna trim the tail here. We're gonna take a glue dot and then we're gonna stick this right down here where we're gonna cover up that section with our sentiment, okay? Now I'm gonna trim off the tails here. I just want them to be as long as our loops. Okay, then we're gonna take and figure out how we're going to adhere this. So we're gonna need this part to be flat, and then this is gonna need, that's not gonna need anything because it's got that little, it's got the edge of this donut, so it's gonna hold it up pretty nicely. But we're gonna need dimensionals right there. And I'm actually gonna trim off just a little bit of that. There we go. Okay. So we'll need dimensionals down here. So we're gonna put 2, just to be on the safe side. And then we're just gonna put regular adhesive the rest of the way. Like that. And that's just gonna sit right over that knot. We're gonna make sure it's straight. There we go. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add these classic matte dots, and I'm gonna add these basic white ones. Whew, that is the third time I have reverted back to Whisper White over the last couple days. I don't know what my problem is. All right, we're gonna stick one there and there and there, and let's do there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll do one more. Oh, no, I see it. It's down here. it's hiding. But we're going to put this one down there. Okay. All right. So there we go. That is our last project. I hope you enjoyed it. I will hopefully quickly. Oh, hey, Karen. Hopefully quickly we'll get my video up on YouTube. So if you are watching it on the replay on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you get notified whenever I upload a video. I should have, before the weekend, I should have a video with the new paper pumpkin. So make sure you go over to YouTube. I will obviously share it on Facebook as well, but I am working on the alternatives for that now. So just be on the lookout for that. But here are today's projects. I hope you enjoyed them, and I hope you enjoyed this set. I hope that I inspire you to possibly get it, because it is definitely a cute one. I think this is definitely my favorite saying in it all. You're my favorite song. So, all right, guys, I hope you have a great evening, and I actually will not see you next week. I do have a meeting. It's my monthly meeting with church. So you will have a video, but it will not be live. I will post it probably in the morning, just because that's when I do a lot of my setting up for posting for Facebook. So, so you will see that get posted for you to view. And I cannot remember for the life of me what the stamp set is that I will be using next week, but I will let you know by posting a event in there. So, all right, guys. Oh, thank you, Brenda. Yes, go back and watch the replay. I would love for you to do that. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Have a great one.